Guys, welcome back to the news. We are already on episode 16. What the hell's up with that? But look, you're probably already wondering, Jay has his pecs out. There's a reason for this, and I'm glad you asked. It's to detract from my third eye currently growing on my forehead. But look, it's been a stressful week. It just happens to come out on my face right now, in the middle of everywhere. There's nothing really I can do about it. So detract from the face. My strategy is for you to focus on the eyes of my chest. So there we go. The nipples are the eyes of the chest. So please continue to look at the nipples as I continue to talk. But look, great news. There is a lot less drama this week. Finally on the games we are focused on, because that's why we're here. Games and possibly pecs. A bit of both. Okay, fine. Pecs. Come for the titty, stay for the personality, as my tagline is over on my Twitch. So there is a little bit of drama throughout, but trust me, it's nowhere near like the drama that we have seen in the past. To be honest, this is a little bit of a win when it comes to the drama. And look, as we all know, when the drama doesn't involve you, it's a hell of a lot better to view. Oh yeah, let's get to it. Boom. Former product lead Adam Hulsky went viral last week on January 25th with a fantastically petty but totally legal move when realizing he was on the list of Microsoft's announced layoff of 1,900 employees. And we have only one reaction to this. On January 25th, he sent out a tweet showing that if he was getting the sack, it would be at least a sack stuffed with as much free shit, or swag, as possible. Adam promptly logged into Keyring, the employee benefits portal for Blizzard Activision, and cashed in every last one of his unclaimed free sub time, giving him over 5 years in lieu of monetary bonuses. This resulted in Adam walking away with a 10-year free subscription to World of Warcraft, with the subscription running out in October 2033. Bravo, Adam. Petty and legal revenge is the best kind of revenge. Now, Adam wasn't alone in this move either. It would seem that a few other employees had the same realization as Adam and also decided to claim all their free shit. And when we say a few, we mean enough people doing this at once, it ended up crashing the Keyring portal servers. That's one hell of a parting gift and beats a watch or pizza party, that's for sure. Released on January 19th at a cost of $10 upgrade if you own the PlayStation 4 version already, or $50 if you don't have it. A lot more reasonable considering that Part 1 remaster last year and all the drama over the pricing of that. Damn, I could have had a nice news story on that if I was making these videos this time last year. Ah well. This remaster of The Last of Us Part 2 received critical comments about Naughty Dog making a remaster of a game that was less than 4 years old. But after the release, they shut up pretty fast. Being highly recommended by critics and game reviewers, this remaster featured a lot of content that wowed nearly everyone. The remaster included the standard visual and audio touch-ups and game performance acceleration, but also featured a lot more. A speedrun gameplay mode has been added with 3 lost and incomplete levels also added for the gameplay, optional commentary during cinematics from game developers too, and a roguelike survival mode called No Return that features 10 playable characters with unique traits, unlockable skins, and gameplay mods. Each stage of No Return includes 5 waves of enemies followed by a boss. So there is a lot jammed in here compared to its previous outing in Part 1. So this 10 potentially extra dollars increase is seen as negligible by most people, considering the amount that is up for grabs here, even if the game is only about 4 years old. Naughty Dog have released a making of video titled Grounded 2 to celebrate the launch of this title, similar to the making of title for Part 1 called Grounded. In this 2-hour documentary, staff go through the highs and lows, the challenges and crunch, and the devastating effect a certain pandemic had on the studio. It is definitely very interesting and well worth the watch, particularly the interviews involving the threats staff got due to what occurs in the game. And during this interview, Neil Druckmann, the director of the game, also hinted at that there is still one more chapter of this series still to uncover. Now, that does not mean they're going to make it, but he definitely has ideas for it. And even if a game was to get developed, we already know that it cost 220 million to produce part 2 after Sony's court blunder, which did not redact the documents properly, so we found out the cost of it, and we knew that there was at least a peak headcount of some 200 full-time employees on this title alone. Even if this started production soon, it would be years off from completion. So let's put the brakes on that for now and let Naughty Dog be Naughty Dog and do what Naughty Dog does best. Hey guys, if I can ask for a favor, most of you who watch my YouTube channel are not yet subscribed or press the like button. Trust me, it will help me out more than you know, and I aim to earn it. So please hit the like button to help the YouTube algorithm to promote my videos into the future and to see more gaming content and yours truly. Thank you for your time and your support. Now, on with the episode. Released just a few days ago on February 2nd, this is a remake of Persona 3, originally released in 2006. Something Persona fans have been requesting since major hit release of Persona 5 back in 2016. How was that game released in 2016? It feels like only a year ago. But then again, I suppose that is when I played the Royal Edition, so that's probably why. Nevertheless, Reload follows the original Persona 3 plot and storyline, as well as keeping its original hybrid balance between role-playing and social simulation gameplay. For those of you unfamiliar with the game, in true anime format, you play as a silent protagonist attending school at the Tatsumi Port Island, the planned city of Kirijo Corporation. After experiments carried out in 1999 resulted in a 25th or dark hour to occur every night, which warps the town, turning your high school into a maze-like tower called Tartarus. And beasts called shadows roam the area. Most people are blissfully unaware of this 25th hour and turn into coffins. However, there is a small group of mostly students at the high school, including your silent protagonist, that do not turn into coffins and are aware of the change and dangers that lurk in the dark hour. These students call themselves Cs, which stands for Specialized Extracurricular Execution Squad, that hunt the shadows using spirit weapons and summons they call personas, which reflect the personality and the mind of the summoner. Major improvements in this remake include the graphics upgrade using the Unreal 4 engine, integration of the HUD control, and other user interfaces that resemble Persona 5's. There have also been more text-based descriptions added for objectives to assist in the story-sensitive tasks and improvements to the minimap, so it will provide players with more locations of varied objectives, items, and enemies. Additional changes to the game include expansion of the dorm, your HQ area, with all new activities added to the dorms as well, all new interactions with teachers during the daytime classroom setting, the social sim section of the game, exploration around the city and the Tower of Tartarus have been made into third person, God's eye view, and this is only scratching the surface of the many changes made. It's time to lock ourselves away in the Velvet Room, guys, and get reloaded, as we're going to be playing 60 plus hours of magnificent gameplay. And by the end, I'll be questioning February. I don't even know her.
1 week from now, there'll be a full moon. Be careful. A new hardship is coming.
This one is for our horse. Our lovely moderator, Nebe, introduced me to the original Turnip Boy, which got me a lot of, let's say, interesting moments on Twitch during my 4 or so hours of gameplay. This, Turnip Boy Robs a Bank, is the sequel and released on January 18th, and it features a very different gameplay from the first because this is more of a roguelite game in the style of a classic SNES third-person game. Following the events of Turnip Boy commits tax evasion, Turnip Boy decides to rob a bank. That's pretty much it, but that's the storyline for this one. The objective, like most bank heists, well, at least if movies have taught me anything, was to grab as much money as possible, but this time within 5 minutes, and each bank is randomly generated in terms of the layout. You arrive to the bank, hold the place up, have what is essentially a free-for-all for the first couple of minutes while you try and grab as much cash as you can, and then at 2 minutes into the level, the police show up to make things more difficult. And then at 5 minutes, Stinky gasses the bank, and if you're not out by then, Turnip Boy dies. The amount of money you get from the level changes based on the performance and if Turnip Boy lives. Yes, you can still get money if Turnip Boy dies. I know it's a bit crazy, but hey, it's Turnip Boy for God's sake. If you played the first one, if you're any bit familiar, this is pretty much right on brand. While fans of the first game noted this game lacks some of the humour and focus and narrative, the game still has highly positive reviews overall, and other than being a little short, is highly enjoyable. Not bad, Turnip Boy. How about part 3? What's going to happen? What's the little bastard going to do this time? If you guys have any idea, feel free to sound off in the comments. What is Turnip Boy going to do? Feel free to simply complete the sentence. Turnip Boy commits. Silent Hill's short message features a very dark and slow burn horror that seems to be based around Silent Hill, The Room, which was never officially released in full. Without too many spoilers, the story revolves around the main character Anita dealing with some serious past trauma, resulting in her being confined to the dark horrors of Silent Hill. While this game received some strangely harsh criticisms by some streamers and reviewers, this game did a great job in reminding the fandom that Silent is not a physical place, but it is a state of mind brought on by the individual's past life choices, resulting in terrible events occurring, typically from the death of someone or possibly even causing the death of someone. In my opinion, the people panning on this game for being too cliche or unoriginal seem as though they might not get the whole point of Silent Hill. As a franchise, it's not about giving you some groundbreaking new ideas and standards of horror. It is about taking something mostly nostalgic or mundane from the general pop culture or other relatable material and scenarios, then twisting and warping them into something nightmarish by the main character's fear, guilt, and anger manifested before them. This is why Silent Hill originally took place in the Rust Belt of USA and drew heavily upon the fall of the small town America and manufacturing industry jobs that was a common trope and real world issue for the time made into horror. Social media, self-image, cyberbullying, and feeling less connected with people around you despite all of our communication and social technology giving us 24/7, 365 days a year access to people is a common trope and real world issue today, and Silent Hill did what it does best, made that into horror, which is the embodiment of this game. It took all that, put in the real tragedy of suicide, including the consequences of how it affects those around you and makes it centerfold, and spins this into one message primarily aimed, at least in my opinion, amongst the current generation growing up addicted to phones and how they rely on social media apps for validation. For a free game that was only intended to get everyone excited about the upcoming Silent Hill 2 reboot and rumoured all new Silent Hill F, it did its job very well, in my opinion. Banisher's Ghosts of New Eden is an upcoming third-person ARPG developed by Don't Nod. The player assumes control of a pair of ghost hunters named Ante and Red. They go on a mission to investigate a haunted community of New Eden, where Ante becomes a ghost in the process. Oh no, spooky! Together, the two form different combat abilities, with Red using conventional weaponry and Ante using spirit powers. Throughout, players can influence the story with their choices, promising dramatic consequences. Are you afraid of some ghosts? This is not Ghostbusters. Arriving on PC and all consoles bar the Switch, February 13th. Ultros is a psychedelic Metroidvania where you wake up stranded on the sarcophagus, a cosmic uterus holding an ancient demonic being. The game is developed by Haddock and El Huervo. Trapped in the loop of a black hole, you will have to explore the multifaceted realm theming with alien life, with a vibrant and eccentric art style backed with a mystical soundtrack. Steeped in sci-fi, this is going to be one trip you'll never forget. Are you ready to puff the magic dragon? Releases on PC and PlayStation February 13th. Lara Croft is back in a remastered adventure spanning Tomb Raider 1, 2 and 3. This action-adventure compilation of games is developed and published by Asper. We join the infamous archaeologist as she travels through a series of ancient ruins and tombs in search for artifacts, all while dual-wielding her famous pistols. She has infinite ammo by default to combat the many guardians of these tombs and the wildlife along the way. The most important aspect is the platforming with countless shimmies along ledges and jumping across steep drops. And some underwater swimming here and there. You can choose between original graphics or modern and modern control schemes. Bosses have health bars, over 200 achievements have been added as well. It's pretty much a frame by frame remaster. Are you ready to raid the Lost Ark? Indiana Jones is back on his first, second and third outing, February 13th. As discussed in my episode 13 video in January, this will be the last game to come from League of Geeks, at least for a while, amid a lot of layoffs. Solium Infernum is a remake of the 2009 game, where players control an archfiend who is trying to secure the Throne of Hell, whilst fighting off rivals in the process. Diplomacy, military tactics as other assortments will be used to raise your character's standing amongst the archfiends. This remake comes as a reimagining and hopes to receive much more attention than its first outing. Maybe if it's successful they can greenlight another title. Will you be sitting on the throne or will you also be laid off? Coming to PC February 13th. Mario vs. Donkey Kong is a puzzle platform game developed by Nintendo and originally released in 2004. It was a spiritual successor to Donkey Kong back in 1994, and now in 2024 there's a remake, so it is a spiritual successor within a spiritual successor. A spiritception, if you will. In this remake there will be of course graphical changes so that the game uses full 3D models rather than the pre-rendered sprites, with cutscenes fully animated along with other graphical enhancements throughout. 2 new worlds with all new obstacles to overcome, along with multiplayer with Toad being the second playable character. A time attack mode has also been added, along with some other quality of life updates. Who is going to win? Spoilers, it's me, Mario! Releasing on the Switch, February 16th. Forever in development, Skull and Bones is an upcoming action-adventure developed by Ubisoft Singapore. This game centers around piracy and naval warfare during the late 17th century, the peak of the historical golden age of piracy, at least according to Wikipedia. Yes, I do research. There have been a sheer quantity of delays since Assassin's Creed Black Flag. Yes, back in 2013, the game began development. 11 years ago, people. It was originally envisioned as an expansion to Assassin's Creed Black Flag, then an MMO spin-off. Probably around 10 delays later, it is releasing this month with an open beta on the 8th. Assassin's Creed Black Flag. Why bother? Coming finally to PC and all consoles, bar the Switch, on February 16th. And guys, that is it for the episode. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you all very, very soon. Plenty more videos coming on this channel, and until next time, until I see you, have a peck-popping good time. Sláinte.